Welcome back to ClayClan for year 7. So sorry this took longer than expected. I've been busy and my computer threatened to die on me for like a week, but it's fine. We're fine. Please check out that series playlist to catch up, as this will not make sense on its own. So, I was fully expecting that there wouldn't be a follow-up on our animatic story until later, but I was wrong. Here's the continuation. It will include violence, so be warned. Let's get into it. Rostar and Small J listen as Silver Dapple explains herself. Small J had heard bits and pieces before, but she's still shocked by what her daughter is involved in. Rostar stays quiet until she's finished. She's not happy, but she'll have to push her personal feelings aside until the matter is settled. She offers her own solution. Silver Dapple is back in the dark forest. Oddheather has picked up on her nervousness, but she doesn't want to talk about it. Then 3 lights shine through the darkness. Oddheather urges Silver Dapple to move so that they're not spotted by the StarClan clans, but she refuses. Oddheather realizes that she was set up, but decides to wait with Silver Dapple. Soon, Pale Star, Burnout Belt, and Beetle Flood emerge from the darkness. Oddheather starts to explain herself, but Pale Star interrupts. She is to stop bothering ClayClan immediately. Oddheather pleads with Pale Star that she was only trying to help, that she wants to redeem herself for Carnation Leap's death. Burnout Belt snarls that she's only regretful since she's dealing with the consequences. Oddheather pleads that they must understand that she regrets her actions and inactions. She would do differently now. Pale Star stares her down. He also regrets how things turn out. Pale Star attacks Oddheather, pinning her and slashing at her throat. She is too surprised to defend herself. Soon she is faded and gone forever. Silver Dapple is stunned at Pale Star's actions, though she follows quietly and is led out of the dark forest. So that's that. The events leading up to the Dark Forest confrontation were decided based on the statuses during their year. The outcome was chosen by rolling dice. There was a chance that Oddheather would have survived, and she could have injured or killed Pale Star in a fight, or she could have retreated peacefully, so I think we got a pretty dramatic roll. Since there's no other Dark Forest cats in game, I'm considering this story concluded. It was pretty short, but I am writing things based on chance, so I tried my best. Now to our regularly scheduled programming. We had 2 deaths this year, again. Daisy Wing was killed by a MallowClan patrol while trying to return an escaped kid. He was on a patrol with his mentor, Snowy Tunnel, and Shell Bramble and Grasspaw when they spotted the kids playing by the border. Shell Bramble and Daisy Paw went to pick up the kids to return them, but a search party thought they were kidnapping them. The MallowClan cats gave Daisy Paw no time to explain, and he was viciously killed. He was only 1 time skip away from getting his warrior name, so I'm saying that Rostar held his ceremony for him at his vigil. I feel so bad for his death. Daisy Wing has previously helped an abandoned kid that's now a clan cat, so he was only trying to do good and got punished for it. The second death was Cinder Beetle. As predicted, Cinder Beetle couldn't survive last year's injury, but he lasted surprisingly long. He did get his shock and blood loss under control, but the wound got infected and was festering by the time he passed away. I think he gave up after his son died. Daisy Wing's death was a little over a moon before his father. At least they're together now. So Ricewife just lost her whole family. You'll see how she coped later. Now, onto the living cats. Rostar is in the nursery, so Weasel Whisker is in charge for now. He was actually out of commission for most of the year due to a sprained paw and a dislocated joint, but he got it together just in time to sub in for Rostar. She gave birth to 1 kid, Beetle Kid. You'll see them in the nursery. Weasel Whisker was actually the one that got Silver Dapple to fess up. He had woken up to her pacing in the clearing, muttering to herself, trying to keep herself awake. Since then, Weasel Whisker had kept an eye on her and managed to convince her to talk about it with Rostar and Small J once he realized the problem was above his pay grade. He's been playing the neutral party in this mess. Shell Bramble did something this year. He was mentor to Grasspaw and did a good job training him, but messed up bad with the border patrol that led to Daisy Wing's death. He's feeling really guilty about it, and our ties with Mallow Clan have been really tense. ClayClan's side of the story had spread at the next gathering, so at least we're not seen as the bad guys. Shellbramble is once again the biological father of Rovestar's kid. I had been hoping for it to be Weasel Whisker so I could pass some of his traits along, but no dice. Shellbramble also dislocated a joint this year, but it's healed now. Also, he keeps having statuses wondering if it's too late to become a mediator. He seems to have recovered from his foot in mouth disease, so I think he'd do a good job. If he gets the status one more time, I'm making Shellbramble ClayClan's first mediator. That's about all these two had going on. So, Small J finally found out what her daughter was up to. She's definitely not happy, even less so since Silver Dapple didn't confide in her on her own. Still, she's trying to look on the bright side. It's over now, to her knowledge. Small J had some trouble this year as she had to reject Mizar twice. No clue when that crush happened. Small J doesn't really care for her, so I don't think it'll go anywhere. She caught White Cow for a little bit, which was bad since the clan had more cats she could take care of. This only got worse after Cinderbeetle died. But against all odds, we've got a medicine cat apprentice. So there's hope for the future yet, and Small J feels accomplished to be able to train up a young cat. Cloudypaw is a strict, quick-witted young adult. She was found abandoned at 2 moons old by Snowy Tunnels Patrol, but she wasn't adopted by anyone. The start of her training was postponed due to her suffering from heat stroke when she got her apprentice name. She recovered once Greenleaf passed and has been mostly good. She did lose her head over Catmint, though. She's just over halfway through her training, but I'm confident she'll be getting her full name by the end of the next year. And I'm asking for permission to name her Cloudy Heart to her pelt pattern. Her in-game generated full name isn't bad, but it sure is boring. Quakeflick and Chickpea expanded their family by 2 this year. Quakeflick gave birth to 2 kids and they're apprentices now. You'll see them later. She had a rough birth and had to fight off an infection, but she got through it. Outside of that, she found and properly investigated a badger set, and she's wearing daisies on her tail. Chickpea got heat exhaustion this Greenleaf, and she had a huge argument with Lyrefeather for some reason, but otherwise she has had a quiet retirement. These two have been very supportive of Silver Dapple and they've been good parents to their new kids, so I'm happy to say that this blended family is functioning well. Frostlily and Ricewipe are here together because they are now dating. Yeah, not my first choice. Don't worry about Dawnfeather, she's still mate with Frostlily. She's in the nursery with their adopted kid. Now, I don't really want to think about this relationship too hard, since Frostlily is dating 2 sisters, but they're definitely not dating each other, that I'll say. This is a poly-hinge relationship, with Frostlily as the hinge. Ricewipe decided to jump into this rebound situation with it as her own rebound, so that's fun. And a bit incorrect, as Ricewipe did have the time to grieve Cinderbeetle and Daisywing on her own, as she only got together with Frostily at the very end of the year. She has been mostly grieving and going through the motions, but after the Oddheader situation was revealed, Ricewipe was wondering what was so wrong about training in the Dark Forest. So it seems that Ricewipe didn't find Oddheader's actions beyond reproach. If that status had happened before Oddheader's death, I definitely would have included her in the Dark Forest story, alas. Now, as for Frostlily, she's been alright. She got heat exhaustion for a bit, fully moved on from Sweet River, and had a talk with Dawnfeather about their relationship and renewed their commitment to each other, despite the circumstances in which they got together. Right now, she just wants to be present for her mates and kid. Antlershard continues to be drama-free. She also continues to be mostly discussion-free since she really hasn't been up to anything. She's done her warrior duties as instructed and she hasn't had a bad hunt in moons. She did get put off by Silverdapple being in contact with her dead mom, but she's mostly tried to separate herself from that mess. Worrying about Oddheader is something she's moved past. Thus, she didn't feel much when she was declared fated. Also, since Antlershard has not gotten any crushes since Sweet River, and that was years ago, I rolled a die. So now she's Grey Ace, which means that most of the time she doesn't feel any attraction, but there are some rare exceptions. It's still possible for her to get a crush, but the odds of that are pretty low. Duskheart's been given a bit of responsibility. She's now mentor to one of Quakeluke and Chickpea's kids. Their first training sessions have gone well, so I'm hoping her childishness doesn't get in the way. Sparrowthought has been doing a bit better, and that has positively affected Duskheart as well. Snowy Tunnel is now nervous. This was probably due to Daisywing's death. He wasn't the patrol leader, but he was responsible as Daisywing's mentor, so he carries a lot of guilt over it. Unsurprisingly, Ricewipe doesn't like him all that much. I don't think he blames her. It seems that at least one cat in this family has to have something bad happen every year. Blizzardsoft continues to be insecure, but he's mostly gotten a handle on his bad thoughts. He seems to prefer hanging out with the elders since, on top of his continued friendship with Fringemod, he's now good friends with Mizar as well. Except that he doesn't really like Chickpea. He's also tried to get closer to his younger half-sister Silverdapple. They've talked some, and Blizzardsoft expressed that he was worried about her after the Dark Forest situation came to light. He seems to have noticed that Silverdapple's sleep quality hasn't improved. I'm hoping he'll get to support her if she needs it. He hasn't acted on his crushes on Frostlily and Snowy Tunnel. Glintfoot is a Tremble Clan cat that decided to join at the second to last moon of the year. I really want to complain about late additions. If they don't immediately inspire me, there's no time for them to do anything. Case in point, Glintfoot is only mentioned twice in my notes. Anyways, Glintfoot is 32 moons old, strict, a talented swimmer, as well as having a ghost sense. Note, his backstory and history state him to be a loner despite joining from Tremble Clan, so his case seems to be that he tried living there at first, didn't like it, and chose to try out ClayClan instead. So, I might roll if he wants to stay here, and code him as lost in-game if he rolls the want to leave. Nothing too interesting happened to him. Sparrowthought has been doing better, mostly. At first he continued keeping to himself, but around mid-year he opened up to Fringemod about his kidnapping. They're friends now, and Sparrowthought enjoys telling him stories and commentating clan drama for him. He's also since talked to Shellbramble, and they have a stronger respect for each other. He also has friends his own age now, in Lyrefeather and Grassdazzle. So, an overall improvement on the relationship side, except for his crush on Ricewipe. He tried confessing to her twice and was rejected both times. These were a few moons after her family's deaths, so that's wrong on so many counts. He overexerted himself on patrol, so it seems he's trying to compensate a little too hard with his duties. Lyrefeather has been good. The second she healed from her rat bites, she got into a fight with a fox, but she only got scrapes from it. She's been pretty overeager with defending her clan. She got Heather to wear from Ricewipe, but her relationship to her older sisters has kind of degraded. She's made attempts to hang out with them, but has realized that they mostly paid attention to her as a kid because they had to. Now that Thornfeather's done training her, she's paid no mind to Lyrefeather. She's hurt over this and has tried leaning on her friends for company, those being Sparrowthought and Grassdazzle, as well as Small J for some reason. She also has a small one-sided crush on Grassdazzle. Lyrefeather was the one who invited Glintfoot, so it seems Rostar is more lenient on the rules with her children. She also has a new responsibility, being mentor to the other kid of Quakeluke and Chickpeas. She's a great teacher, and their first sessions have gone well, so I have high hopes for her. Silverdapple has gone through a lot, but let's go through the miscellaneous stuff first. She earned her warrior name early this year, and she was honored for her compassion. She is now a beloved kid-sitter with a Dark Forest affinity. I am attributing both of those traits to Oddhead's training. Her ties to her parents have gotten better this year. She opened up to Small J, got closer to Quakeflick, and Chickpea admired her ability to go on in tough times. She got the Bluebells accessory from Small J in celebration of her warrior ceremony. Outside of family, Silver Double was on the way to befriending Fringe Mod, but that fell apart after her Dark Forest situation came to light. She also gained a puppy crush on Snowy Tunnel, confessed, and got rejected. Now for the consequences of the animatic. Silver Double is now more prone to waking up in the Dark Forest than before. She's not being pulled there anymore, but it did its damage. Due to her being shocked by Pale Star's violence against Oddheader, Silver Double hasn't revealed that she's still kind of in trouble. Her faith in StarClan was shaken, and she's worried she will be judged harshly for her inability to get herself out of there. While it was Oddheader's fault that Silver Double is in this mess, she did teach her how to navigate the Dark Forest effectively, so she's not in active danger every time she ends up there. Still, she's losing a lot of sleep. Grassdazzle was honored for his dedication. He was insecure through his apprenticeship, but he has ended up as loyal. He's now a great climber. His mentor was Bramble, but Fringemud did step out of retirement for a bit to give him some pointers, which is partly why he got so good at climbing. Bramble was mostly a good mentor, but it was his call that got Daisywing killed, which Grassdazzle witnessed. He was left a bit traumatized over that, and safe to say, he doesn't particularly like ClanGen. He settled into the friend group of fellow young warriors well. Also, he has a tiny one-sided crush on Glintfoot. Grassdazzle was one of the first to welcome the new warrior in, and later realized how much he enjoyed spending time with him. They have a bit of an age gap again, but it should be fine when he gets older. So, Grass has two potential love interests that I think would both with him. He didn't get up to much else, since he had some spasms on his paralyzed half, and he caught white cough during the colder moons, but he's since recovered. Flitpaw and Rimepaw are the kids of Quakeflick and Chickpea. They were both bullies when they were kids, but they've grown from that. Luckily, they didn't get many chances to be bullies, but Rimepaw did antagonize Frostlily and Thornfeather's kid over religion. Flitpaw is a shameless mossball hunter, and Rimepaw is cold and oddly observant. They're both constantly climbing. As mentioned before, their first training sessions have gone well, and they're well on their way to graduating in time. Flitpaw is mentored by Duskheart and Rimepaw by Lyrefeather. These two have good ties to their parents, but haven't gotten closer to their extended family. Silverdapple especially has been busy with her own troubles. Misa retired late this year. Considering the afterlife drama and everything else this year, maybe she's a bit relieved she wasn't all that relevant. She tried wooing Small J but failed, and Fringemud also rejected her two advances, so she'll likely stay single. She's not completely on her own, though, since she's good friends with Snowy Tunnel and Blizzardtuft. Fringemud had a mixed year. It started off well for him as he's expanded his social circle. Sparrowthought opened up to him about his problems, and they're friends now, swapping stories with each other. He was on the way to befriending Silverdapple as well, but then the Dark Forest events came to light. They had a huge argument and haven't spoken since. Fringemud doesn't want to associate with someone that was secretly in contact with his past mentor and his sister's murderer. I'm hoping they make up, but I get why Fringemud wouldn't want to. He got unlucky this year as he found himself to be injured only once the wound started smelling foul. He tore his belt trying to keep it clean, and it was dicey for a while, but he healed. He also sprained his paw for a bit. He helped out Grassdazzle with his training, but had to bow out early due to the above. I'm getting the vibe that he doesn't mind missing out on warrior duties. He rejected Mizar, but the two have to share the Elder's Den since they're both retired, so that's awkward. Thornfeather and Frostlily found a 2-moon-old abandoned kid who they decided to adopt as their own. I guess Ricewife is now also an adoptive parent, as she started dating Frostlily after the kid was adopted. Magpie Kid is now 4 moons old, impulsive, and has an active imagination. Her biological mother was named Wren, so I'm leaning pretty hard on the bird aspects of her design. Now, Thornfeather. Despite resenting babysitting, she does seem to enjoy spending time with her own child. She found some holly to wear for herself. Her opinion of Silverdapple tipped into genuine hate for a bit, and despite some positive interactions, the dislike is still high. She also has some jealousy toward her, which makes me think that she's bitter Silverdapple got to talk with her mother over her. Tonfet has never been the most morally upstanding cat, so she was also a candidate I had in mind for the Dark Forest story, but nothing came of it. She's been doing her warrior duties, and I imagine she swaps out nursery time with Frostily and now Ricewipe. She drove off Caroline when she trespassed, but I think she was just trying to visit Grasstazzle. I'm not sure what to make of that. Rostar is here in the nursery with her 1 moon-old son, Beetlekid. He is an unruly mossball hunter. So, it seems Beetlekid is named after Beetleflood. It's less random than you may think, as Beetleflood was Rostar's apprentice and he had been wanting to reach out to Silverdapple, which is why he was included in the animatic. It seems he was worried over his little half-sister. Also, Beetlekid has the masked pelt pattern, which is pretty rare, so I'm stoked. No clue where it came from, though. Rostar had some tough problems to tackle this year. She's decided to try and mend ties with ClanGen, but that's put her at odds with Ricewipe. Still, she doesn't want to risk a war. But at the same time, she doesn't want to make ClayClan seem weak for letting Daisywing's death lie. So far, she's just instructed her clan to remain cold and strict, but also fair to ClanGen. She did what she could to help Silverdapple, but decided to let the StarClan cats handle things. She's not sure what to think about Palestar killing her ex. She's mostly over Oddheather, but Palestar's actions, as reported by Silverdapple, have left her a bit unnerved. She's not sure what she would have done in his situation. Luckily, all this happened before her pregnancy and birth, because fate was not kind to her. Right now, she's suffering from blood loss and spends most of her time recovering and taking care of Beetlekid. She's proud of Weasel Whisker and Shellbramble for running the clan smoothly. That was the clan this year, and we're just about done, save for one. Bailey is our only outsider since Oddheader Double died. He's old now. The original plan was for him to be placed in the Dark Forest after he died, since he knew StarClan existed, but it's been so long I'm not sure he believes in it anymore. And we don't know what he has been up to, so he might have left his rogue life behind him and lived peacefully. So, upon his death, I'm giving him a small chance to not end up in the Dark Forest. And that's it for year 7. A bit more dramatic than what I thought it would be upon playing it. The animatic stories really add a lot more intrigue. Shame that it's over now. However, I have been thinking about the clan size. If you watch the Galaxy Clan series, you'd know that Nyoko has a clan size limit which, when surpassed, is used to force a mass extension event. This year was a lot to me, so I'm thinking of setting a limit at 30. The clan this year ended with 25 cats. So if we get many more, there might be some tragedy in the future. If you like this video, remember to like and subscribe. The family tree will be updated sometime after this video is first released. I give updates on the progress of future ClanClan videos in posts, so keep an eye out for those. I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye!